This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you if people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else? Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.
Okay, it's time to commit. 2024 is the year for prioritizing yourself. Begin your new smile journey with Byte, and you could start seeing results in just 2 to 3 weeks. Just order your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95 at Byte.com. Byte clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer financing options, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Hello, welcome. Let's chat. It's hard. You want to talk? I know, that's disappointing. Sit back. Let's work this out. How's it going? What are we doing here? Where are you going? Hey there. Wow. It's not always easy. It's amazing if you think about it. Let's think about this. Strange. I have some thoughts about that. Life is hard. Trauma bonded.
Hello? Call back when you can form a word. Actually, make that a sentence. Hello? Okay, weirdo, I'm hanging up.
Wait.
Okay, go. Okay, bye. Yellow?
Are you afraid?
No. Who is this?
This is the voice of death.
Okay, Death, thanks for calling. Now what do you want?
Oh.
Look, I don't have time for...
Wait. I just wanted to say, be aware of yourself at the doctor today.
Oh, I have a doctor's appointment today?
Yes.
Are you sure? Yes.
Watch yourself at the market today.
Not going to the market today.
Oh, well, make sure your daughters be careful on the way to school.
They've changed schools, though, so which one?
Beware of those who lurk around your house.
What house? We live in an apartment, you know.
That's what I meant. Your apartment building.
Look, let's just make this easy. You choose a weapon, I'll choose a weapon. Let's meet at Durango Park at noon. You can fight me, and this can be done, okay?
I don't think...
Are you a man or not?
Yes.
Then meet me and fight.
Look, lady, I'm just a gorilla trying to fill a kidnapping quota. Living hard in this terrible jungle, outcast and loathed. Why do you have to be so scary and mean? Welcome to Trauma Bonded. I'm Elly Westberg here with Therese Garcia.
Hello.
And today we're discussing episode 323 of the podcast. This is actually happening. What if you had amnesia? And that's a working title. A brief synopsis. Ingrid grows up in a violent and unstable Colombia, fearing kidnapping, car bombs, and fire. She comes from a history of curanderos. Both her father and her own mother were gifted in these practices. After some near tragedies and living in fear, the family uproots to Venezuela. I'm going to Venezuela, Caracas. And she eventually comes to America for university. In 2007, she has a bike accident that causes her amnesia. Through this amnesia, she's able to reframe her past and realize that good and bad memories both have weight, and they mark and shape us in both good and bad ways. And full disclosure, I am the showrunner for This Is Actually Happening, and T knows nothing about anything. She comes in fresh. And this show, Trauma/Bonded, is for the listeners, a space where we can talk about each episode digest it, and reflect on it with empathy and also a bit of levity. That's trauma bonded. T, what stuck out to you as the heart of Ingrid's story?
Let's do you first this time.
Okay. I think the heart of the story is your past isn't you. I feel like every time she listed something that she sort of like inherently knew after she got amnesia, like stuff that was in her bones, came to her from different ways. Like we are socialized and institutionalized with things like gender or labels like immigrant, like how she recognized that she was a woman. She recognized the binary there. She recognized herself as an immigrant, like it was something that she had internalized because of that label that's been bestowed on her in America. And our body has muscle memory. Like she knew how to use a phone, or she could remember what it felt like to hug someone that she loved. And that our body and brain retain fear and trauma about places, people, and things. So the stuff that she inherently knew or recognized or could quote unquote remember made sense to me. But all of the shame or the mistakes or the failings, all of that shit of our past that we constantly like categorize and relive and reorganize in our brain is not us. Your past isn't you. And it's pretty thrilling stuff to me.
Interesting. Because mine is similar to yours, only opposite.
Shut up.
No, a little bit, but it's interesting what you're saying, like in terms of your past, like when she's talking about like she's an immigrant and she was feeling like an outsider and how that makes you, feel like you don't belong, in the US. But you're right, like that isn't you. And you're like, oh, whoa. She looks in the reflection. She's like, oh, weird. Am I not from here or whatever,
Yeah.
So maybe it's the opposite of what you said. I'm not really sure. It's almost what I'm about to say is that your past is you, but we'll see. I'm not sure. The word I
Finally, we disagree.
Well, it's kind of a mix. I don't know. But my word today is imprint.
Like the pavement into your skull.
That's why I said it. That's the only reason I said it.
Sorry, I jumped on your punchline.
No, I didn't have a punchline. But
I gave you a punchline.
So, an imprint, like the stories, the memories from your past, they certainly influence our lives in present and future, right? Whether we know it or not. Like, as I'm saying, like even as memories might fade or you might lose these memories, they leave behind imprints, right? And they, it shows, they influence how we behave or how we might believe, right? Even if we don't even know why. Which is why therapy is good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, imprint, stamp or mark on a book or something, that indicates where it's from or its origin. She's a writer.
Yeah.
Storyteller. And then, of course, what you just said, imprint on her skull as well.
Do you see how I differentiated between sort of like our own internal memory and maybe what is all around us that helps us make sense of the world?
Yeah, I think our core, our fundamental, maybe values, beliefs, things like that are different from what you were talking about, more external factors and how we respond to those things.
Well, I think it's interesting, right? Like you're an adult person who's lived a full life up to this accident, and you have no idea what happened. You have no idea who you are, yet you see yourself in a reflection and there's a binary that exists in the world in gender. Right? How do you lose your memory and not lose everything that you understand about the world? How do you look at yourself and know what a woman is?
Yeah.
Right? And again, we're not qualified to talk about this. So, I mean, I guess I'm not really sure what amnesia takes care of. I think she was making the point that like stuff that's really imprinted on us, like our socialization, maybe our brainwashing to a degree, like the way systems are institutionalized, the way that we manage the world.
My imprint was more around the core bit of you, not the,
Right. But as it turns out, though,
Yeah.
it's not like we might carry around, I don't know, I didn't get called back for a job or something. And I carry that around with me as this like serious, huge, deep failing. But it's not something I remember that it's not something that's part of me. But in the present, without loss of my memory, it's something it's like a filter that I'm putting everything else through.
Yeah.
Right. But that's gone in amnesia. And all that's left with you is like the parts that matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or the parts that other people have told you matter. Because we know that gender doesn't really matter.
Well, that's the thing. It didn't matter when she had amnesia.
But she recognized it. That's what I think is interesting.
Yeah, but when she lost her memory, she had no gender identity. She didn't.
Right, just in and of herself. Like, she had to look at herself.
Once that's when some of those...
To be able to categorize herself.
Memories were flooding in about what
does a woman look like?
Yeah. What does it mean to be a woman? What does it mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that's deep. So that came from somewhere that she didn't actually like seek to pick up. It's something that was like institutionalized in her from a very young age, as it is all of us.
But her like self, right before even looking at herself, she
didn't have a gender.
That's a time she should have been writing stuff down to save us all from the world around us.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about, like, the stuff that you're brainwashed with, like, can stick with you. This muscle memory makes sense to me that it would stay with you. And then trauma and your fear, that makes sense. Especially when that's something that's like rock hard in you. And she spent so many years in Colombia, living in fear, living in survival mode, living in heightened anxiety, you know? So when he says, "Where are you from?" she makes sense of that because her body, from all of those years of stress, her body knows.
Yeah, she was like, "I'm feeling hell of stress right now." It reminds me of when I was feeling hell of stress.
Oh, Colombia, yeah.
Then.
And you could argue that those are the things that make us who we are, right? That those deep-seated things. And all of the other stuff that we carry around with us that we use to judge ourselves with isn't truly us.
I see what you're saying, yeah. I was trying to get to the core bits of a person, but really it's just like there's layers and layers.
It's interesting to think about
of a person.
Yeah. What sticks with you and what doesn't, what imprints on you and what doesn't.
Yeah.
If you're like stripped to a blank slate, what exists and what doesn't. It's like you almost want to go through it yourself because you want to see, what is me without all this extra junk hanging on me.
It's a complete different state of consciousness.
Yeah.
I liken it to like, I don't know, is it like ayahuasca or something, like some sort of, when you're like, I'm a baby now. I'm a
baby.
I'm in my mommy's belly.
Excuse me. I'm a baby now. I didn't mean to be rude. So I want to say, too, that I came in fresh as well on this one. This was a friend of a friend that came to Whit. So I had zero hand in this one.
Oh, so you didn't do any of the interviews?
So I didn't do any pre-interview. I didn't do any sound check. I didn't send any emails.
Wow.
This is just one of those ones where...
No idea. Wow, we both came in fresh.
Yeah, so the first time I heard it I had no idea as well.
Okay.
Like, I hadn't even been, like, briefed on. Like, Merle, I'd been told a little bit about, because he was also one that was a friend of a friend. But, yeah, this one I had no idea about. So she talks about this time that she's in Colombia, and this is a very tumultuous time in the history of that country, and we're not really qualified to talk about it, but I do encourage y'all to do a little deep dive. The Wikipedia page about the paramilitary burning the fields especially is super fucked up and interesting to read.
Encanto.
But that's what Encanto is about, which is a movie.
Yeah.
Right, T? I did want to point out that the first paramilitary groups were organized by the Colombian military following recommendations made by the U.S. military counterinsurgency advisors. And honestly, so much upheaval in Latin America and South America is due to a lot of U.S. influenced policy. But go ahead and read about that yourselves.
Research alert.
Research alert. Curandera. Curandero. And that's literally means the one that heals. Curan is like a It's derived from Spanish for the cure, to cure.
Oh.
So one who can heal, one who can cure is a curandero.
Oh, thank you.
And this is also interesting. Recommend doing a little research alert. And if you want to know how to spell curandero, it's Curandero.
Oh, I got it right.
Dero. Now, what's interesting about this is it talks about the history of it in Latin America, and it talks about how the women, the same. So if the man was a curandero, he was looked at as a medicine man. If a woman presented with the exact same beliefs, the exact same like medicinal cures, etc., they were often conflated as a bruja.
No.
Which is Spanish for witch.
That's messed up.
Right. So it's believed that because females, if they were put in positions of authority as a curandero or curandera, they were persecuted because they were in position of authority and not because of their healing methods. So I just think it's interesting that a man does it, he's a medicinal healer. A woman does it, she's a bruja, and we're going to persecute her because, plain and simple, we don't want to see a woman with any kind of position of authority or agency. So let's talk about when her mom falls in the well.
The blackest black you ever did see.
The black. You got to see the black.
Let me take a really close look.
Closer.
Too close.
Ooh, too close. I mean, I sort of have her grandmother's sentiment of take her to a real hospital.
Oh, yeah, me too. Like, would she have gone into a coma if she went to a real hospital? Who knows?
It's hard to really know. It feels like the fact that he pulls this off.
He does pull it off.
I mean, the story's sort of straight. The story's sort of strange. Like, are we supposed to believe that through his medicinal medicine and, infusing his stuff, that she just heals completely without issue? Is that what we're supposed to believe?
I think so.
One, is that, and two, is that possible?
Could be.
Or is this just a story that's been handed down for a long time and we're missing some pertinent details? It's an interesting story to think that he sets her up in his healing room with his plant medicines, and she goes into a coma, and he searches for her in his dreams. Now,
it's a great story.
It's a great story.
And that she dreams. Is this her story? She dreams.
Yeah.
And then comes back and thinks that's the dream. Her dreams were reality.
Yeah. But she had a bit of amnesia too, because she thought she'd been kidnapped.
Yeah.
And later on, Ingrid herself does characterize these practices as maybe like backward or superstitious, and like that was shame she felt. Like even during that time, the civilized among them thought that this was antiquated.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess I've been pondering, like, where do you go? Homeopathic remedies are good, but we also need modern medicine in there for some shit.
It's hard,
right? Like, where do you draw this line?
And is there a line when you switch it every now and again? I don't know.
Because you know me, like I like my oregano oil and my garlic and all, anything natural I can get my hands on, like I'm all about it. But if you told me tomorrow I had a broken arm or I don't know, something, I'd go to a hospital. I'd go to seek modern medicine or Western medicine for that cure. And some people have tried more homeopathic remedies. A famous example is Steve Jobs, who did not make it. He opted against modern Western medicine for cancer treatment, and he decided that he was going to try to cure himself through juices or whatever he did. And of course, he just rapidly declined and died.
But it's really hard to tell. I mean, maybe he would have rapidly declined and died anyway. So it's really hard.
Exactly. And I'm not indicting. Right. I'm not indicting one, but there.
But you can't. There's no test because you can't bring him back, give him the same exact, and then try the other.
Right. Does my oregano oil actually help?
I doubt it. It almost killed me when I did it.
Or is just the cold passing?
But it went down the wrong pipe, and I thought I was going to die. There's also, birth, giving birth. A lot of times, like, do you do it in the hospital or do you do it water birth at home birth?
I mean, women have done that for thousands of years at home.
Yeah, but it's scary.
Like, I think about her poor mom after falling in this well and having really what sounds like pretty serious injuries.
Yeah.
Like, is she in complete pain? Like, is she given milk of the poppy? Like, what? How how did this actually look? Because it kind of just gets talked about like a bit folklore almost, and then he did it, and he found her in his dreams, and she came out, and
No scars.
and then back to me, like whoa.
It's like, you could probably do no scars, right?
But, I mean, it's
hard.
a difficult one. Knowing what we know now, it's hard to judge it on the face of it. And then you get into this, like, am I judging it from a colonizer / like, am I indicting their culture, or am I actually indicting the practice? And it doesn't make me feel like a colonizer, because she said herself that they got judgments from their own community. They were like, well, this is old. These are old ideas.
Bring her to the...
we have a modern hospital down the street. This isn't like turn of the century. This is the 80s and 90s,
No, it wasn't the 80s, though.
Like...
It was her mom, right?
She was... Oh, it's her mom. You're right. I was thinking about it.
So it's probably like 50s? No, 60s.
50s, 60s.
Maybe 70s.
Yeah.
Maybe 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's things happening.
But civilization has reached Colombia. Yeah.
Well, so I wonder, for my eyesight, for example, would they be able to help me with this? Or am I just like done with? Like, I'm just going to get eaten by a bear because I can't see it until it's like 1 foot away from me. It's like, I hear noises.
They just cast you into a ravine.
Yeah, like it's like, yeah, I need an optometrist, I think.
No, it's interesting to think, like, where do you balance? And I'm a big believer in like food as a healer as well. And food can also kill you. So like in some realm, I understand both. Like there should be a balance of like herbs and food and rest, like natural things, oils, maybe even.
Yes.
And
let's mix it up.
And modern medicine. There have been cases in America where parents have said, because of religious freedom, that they opt out of giving their children specific care that might, on the face of it, warrant modern medicine or Western medicine. And they've been indicted for such and considered abusers. What are your thoughts on that, T? Like, you have kids, they're registered with the state or whatever, meaning that the state knows that they exist, and it'd be on their medical chart if something major went awry. As a parent, do you think that you are obligated to do what the state tells you should do, or do you think you should have supreme rule and decision making over the care of your kid?
I've said this time and time again. I'm no doctor. If they need someone, that's a business managing consultant,
I like how you just made that into one, like, honestly, for
yeah, I mean, then, like, maybe I have some authority. Hardly. But, like, I think for me, when they're like, let's do these vaccines, I'm like, yes.
Don't say the V word, T.
I'm like, let's do the things that are required in the state of California and
to be around other kids, to make sure that other kids are safe, etc.
I don't. Yeah.
But what do you think? What do you think about these families that claim freedom of religion, and they believe that prayer will heal their kid from leukemia?
I say,
what should happen to those families?
And let's do let's do everything that we can do to help this person.
Yeah.
Like, fine, prayers. Can we also? No.
But I think they think it's a violation of their faith to even turn to a doctor for any kind of assistance. And they are willing to sacrifice their own children.
On their own bodies. And let's not harm our children.
Well, let me ask you this.
Oh, here we go.
Are your kids yours? At what point do they have their own agency?
Right.
I mean, have we elected,
like that as a baby? They can't be like, yeah, give me that vaccine. They can't. A little bit of that. I'll do that twice this year.
I mean, I think parents' point of view is, I pay for these kids, I raise these kids, I pay taxes on these kids, I claim these kids, they're dependent on me, and I raised them in the religion that I've seen fit, and we don't believe in it, and they don't have a say in it either way. How do you get around that?
You don't.
Well, you don't, because the state has said, no, you don't get to just live like that.
Well, unless they're
not your kids.
They just somehow dodge it. I say do the required things you're supposed to do, and then if they get sick, do all the praying or whatever, and And then it's just a cold anyway. That's fine. They'll just have the fever. But when it gets to like really sick, let's think about it. If we're thinking about, life or death sick, I say we try everything we can,
Well, that's a good way to think about it.
If we're just talking like a cold, a flu, I get fine.
And that's why I also want to say T and I come for every religion. So just because this one's a bit older or more like steeped in like a culture we don't know, we're still going to come for it.
But I like that more. I was fine with him doing that.
Is that fair?
I mean, she came out good. It's only the outcomes really tell you whether it's good or bad. But who knows?
But her mom, I mean, you can't tell me that she fell down this well and there wasn't fallout to her body.
It's like, oh, she doesn't have an arm.
It seems hard to believe.
We didn't mention.
We could get stuck on this subject forever. And her mom becomes a medicine woman and
curandera.
And she starts speaking prayers into water and selling
it all sounds good to me.
Which, again, it sounds very Catholic.
If that were science, it's kind of cool. The prayers get in there.
Where do they?
They're in there, and then you drink it, and they're in there. That's kind of cool.
You might actually know this.
Yeah.
You know how Catholics sell holy water? Where do they get it?
Or do they get it from the tap?
What do they claim? How are they claiming it's holy?
No, it has to get blessed.
Is it just blessed by any priest and it's holy?
Yeah, it's the same with the wafers, right? Like you can get the wafers, whatever, and they're just wafers. But then, or bread.
Yeah.
But then you have to bless it. Once you bless it, then that's the body of Christ, right? A priest.
But what are the credentials?
A priest.
Okay. What about me that's licensed to perform marriages in the state of California?
I don't know. I am too. Can we
Should we start a water business?
Bless the bread? This is holy water. I've touched it. It was from the tap. I used the
and it is
filter
blessed.
Of me.
I looked at it.
And I said, I was like, you are now holy water. Dude,
consider yourself
you're making
holy.
me want some wafers right now.
Sell this.
I kind of got off them because I was a bit getting addicted. Like it was getting a little weird. Just watching a movie, eating like wafers with crosses on them, just like chips.
Are we missing a hole in the market?
I think so.
Like, okay, everyone's like, what if we just said, we are blessing this water and these wafers like non-denominationally?
We could. And the wine. Let's do the wine too.
Is there a segment of
Yeah.
Is there a segment of society that would buy these products?
No, part of that, I think, is doing the ritual, having them eat it in front of you while you tell them about how wrong they are and judge them. That, I think we'd have to have like a mass, but we call it different. We should just start a religion.
Oh, fuck.
Like, I think we could do it.
I've been saying this for years.
So idiots do this shit.
I know.
We just have to believe it,
Have you watched that documentary on Netflix yet about the dance cult?
Oh, it's a dance cult?
You'll love it. Watch it. I can't even get into this
Okay,
right now.
but I'm excited about that. That's what we should do, a dance cult.
Their moment.
That sounds awesome.
Step aerobics cult.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's move on. Can we separate religious practices from cultural ones?
I think I don't know.
And really, I'm asking, when am I allowed to criticize?
I think never. But also, I mean, religion should really be separate from things, right?
Yeah, but sometimes it's really wrapped up in a culture of a people. Am I allowed to come for it? Being a white colonial woman.
Talking about it like that. Probably not. Probably
That's what
not.
I mean.
You want me to say it?
But I'm allowed to come
I don't know, I'm like a white man. I can't. Should we get somebody who could say it?
I mean, I feel entitled to come after my own shit.
I think that's it. Oh, okay. I was just going to say you feel entitled and just end it there. But yeah, sorry. I thought you were done.
So her mom is a badass.
Total badass.
First of all, she turns this South American man full of machismo and patriarchy into what seems like a pleasant person. Right. She trolls the gorillas, which we made light of in our little skit. And then she's also, as this medicine woman, it sounds like she's very much like a healer in that she listens to people, she holds them up, she's there with them. I mean, this is what Ingrid is talking about. She watched her mom like just be there for people when they're going through something rough.
I mean, this is not just like a physical healing. I mean, this is like, it's therapy as well.
Totally. Well, and it got me thinking about this idea, especially in these macho kind of countries. And I mean, it's here too.
For sure. I think it's changing. Things are changing.
Women.
We'll see if it changes back. Okay, don't.
Project 2025. Look it up.
It may change back.
This is an old idea. This is centuries old. This is thousands of years old. Is women sitting around complaining about men, right? And this is what, to me, this is what starts to be a baseline or starts to ignite a revolution. And I just want to say, I think it's just so important that women keep talking.
Yeah.
And that's really the thing that men that are interested in controlling women or keeping the patriarchy alive, like that's what they hate the most, is women sitting around putting things together, supporting each other. Wait a second. But we always do that. We will always do that. It is the thing. It's one of the most brilliant things about women that support women is that we have to just keep talking. We have to keep being together and keep talking.
Oh, yeah.
And, this is one of the caveats of The Handmaid's Tale is once you start to separate people out and monitor the things that they say and
we can't talk to each other.
Yeah, the way that they communicate, that's the way you undermine half your population. We have to keep talking. And I'm not even talking about like, my voice is important, I have to shout it from the rooftops. No, you don't have to be in the street like raising.
No, just talk to your good friend. And they're like, oh, wow.
Talk to your friends.
There's like a pattern going on,
What makes a life a good one? Is it the adventure you have? Or the friends you find along the way? Maybe it's pursuing your passion while striving to protect, defend, and save what you believe in every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? In the Coast Guard, we think it's all of the above and more, but you'll have to find out for yourself. Visit gocoastguard.com to learn more.
I listen to so many gay men are in my ears and listening to my reality podcasts. And I love it because they'll indict the behavior that's going on with couples on certain TV shows. And they say, the reason we're talking about this isn't because we're endorsing or enabling like what they're putting on television for us. It's because we know that there are women in our audience that are experiencing this exact same thing. And if we can talk about it and make sure that those women hear that this behavior is not okay, that maybe they'll have a moment where they're able to look at their own lives and go, wait a second, that's me. And wait another second, all of these people in this community are telling me that's not okay. And because of that conversation, women can not only make community, but make a way to escape. I think it's brilliant.
Whoa, not all men. Okay.
Yeah, no, hashtag not all men.
No, but I love though that you've boiled it down to women complaining about men. I love it's like, oh, they're talking about heartbreak and they're talking about their life or whatever, however she described it. And you're like, dude, it's women complaining about men. That's what they're doing. And they're high-fiving, they're talking to each other.
This is how education is born. I say something to you, and because we have this inside of us, we feel it deeply. I say to you, T, so-and-so did da-da-da to me, and you go, that doesn't seem right. And I go, you know what? It didn't seem right to me either. And
validation.
Now we've just ignited a revolution.
Validation, empathy, camaraderie.
Keep talking about it. Yeah.
Yes.
Camaraderie. I've been through the same thing.
This is happening over and over again.
I hear you. It's not normal. You're right that you clocked it.
Yeah.
Now get out.
And by the way, I'm here. Yeah.
Here's a couch for you.
I'll help you pack.
Yeah. Well, yes.
We'll get you out while they're at work, whatever. I'll kick his ass, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Women supporting women.
Keep talking. Just keep talking.
Yeah, because you easily feel silenced and easily feel like you're thinking it wrong because if you're getting gaslighted, that's it.
Ooh. But you know deep down, you know.
Yeah, have a trusted friend.
You know.
Say the things They'll listen.
And if you don't have a friend, like reach out to, like DM us on Instagram.
Oh, for sure. Like, what's the deal? What are we doing? Let's do
We
it.
would gladly,
Yeah.
let's do
Get the
it.
F out of there.
We'll help. We'll put you in
Yeah.
touch with people that can help.
Especially if you're in California, Bay Area.
Look to our show notes. There's lots of resources in our show notes, but we will totally help you for real. Now, Ingrid talks about people kept coming into her house with their problems. And then she goes, what it made me realize is that everyone's going to be visited by crisis. Did you think for a second she was going to say Christ?
Oh, I did not. That's not necessarily part of my vocabulary. I mean, it is, but it doesn't come that quick as she said it. And you're just like, Christ. Oh, no.
Crisis. Let's talk about what happened with her domestic servant that was going to aid in the kidnapping.
I have many questions there.
We need you to collab on a kidnapping with us.
And some loved ones.
And
not even strangers, you know? Like, okay, I'll kidnap strangers. But like it has to be people that I consider almost family.
That's hard though. Like, what do you do when you're faced with that sort of conundrum? Do you give up these kids that aren't yours, or knowing that you're risking, you know, your family? Clearly, she couldn't go through with it, and she faced the consequences and was hurt. And Ingrid carried this with her.
Or you probably don't know, but I wonder if we'll ever find out if her family was spared. Yeah,
no idea. I wish that we could hear stories from women like that, but those women don't tend to reach out to us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much value in hearing from someone that is perceivably on the bottom of this hierarchical scale or class scale. There's so many domestic workers all over the world that are probably victims of human trafficking in some way. And they don't, for whatever reason, they don't feel like they have the agency to share their story, or they're still very much living their story and just dealing with trauma that we have no idea about. Yeah, it's sad to think that for the most part, we only do hear from privileged people, people that were fortunate enough to escape their situation and have a story to tell. So her mom's trolling the gorillas and her dad gets kidnapped, but because of a childhood friendship, he escapes, which is just the power of relationship.
Yeah.
So they finally escape to Venezuela, and she talks about this feeling that you have when you are finally removed from a fearful situation, how your body can finally feel it. Let's talk about that for a second. That makes sense to me. When your body's like in sort of survival mode, you're not going to feel it as intensely as when you finally get out of it and you look back and go, oh, fuck, oh, shit, oh, God, right? The body's crazy like that, the way it
like
protects
tenses
you.
up and you're just like tensed up. Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't her situation at all, but maybe you've experienced this too. Like I know, like if I've gone camping, maybe my body is like, we're not
my
shitting
body
here.
does that totally. I've never done that.
Right. And it's like, and it's almost a protective mechanism. Like
I don't even need to pee. We're all good.
Like your body looks around and is like,
this is not a safe place for me to do my business.
I'm just going to bind you up.
Hold on to it.
You're not going to die. I'm going to get you through the next 3 days. And when you get home and everything's safe, we will release.
That's the word, right? Release. I think.
I've experienced this on sets, like as a PA. I've definitely gone 12 hours without peeing whilst drinking a lot of liquids.
That's, again, for me, whenever our sessions or whatever, I realize like everyone leaves, I'm like, oh my God, I got to pee. And then you pee, like you're there for like a good 5 minutes, you're just peeing, and I'm like, wow, I really should have gone. But like I'm like drinking so much water.
I also think it's interesting, I've experienced this with sickness. Like I know I cannot be sick, I have something really major going on, whatever it is, job or otherwise, or maybe it's the stress of it finally leaving from you, and then your body's like, oh, we don't have to go, there's nowhere for us to be.
I only get sick on weekends and major holidays.
Yeah.
Those are the only times.
Put it on the resume.
It's true.
If you scare me enough.
Yeah.
I'm I'm best. I'm at my best when I feel 100% fear and anxiety. That is when you'll get the
So,
most out of me.
That's a great way to manage me.
Yeah, I mean, this is a testament to you. You travel for work, you get home, you have COVID.
I have to. That's the one time
You finish COVID, you travel again.
I'm like, oh wow,
Yeah.
this is the best time, I guess.
Your body's like looking at your
Yeah.
Google Calendar. It's like, I can schedule
We can
COVID
do
cure.
We could do 10 days. We can do 10 days in a row right here.
We could do a nice, easy constipation over these days. Oh, maybe throw in our period here.
No, it doesn't
we
work
could
with
couple-
period. It doesn't work with period.
Okay, sometimes it doesn't work with
Yeah.
period.
Sickness, yeah, but period is like, when's the worst time? Let's do it now. I was like, but it's only been 2 weeks.
It is
doesn't
funny
make
how-
any. No, we're doing it right now.
So I imagine it's like your immune system is communicating with your cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna give her COVID. Oh, no, that's not gonna work for me because her period's gonna be like they're having like a back and forth. Yeah. So Ingrid moves to Chicago and she explains that the way that Colombians greet each other is, "What have you dreamt about recently?" And then she points out that Americans find this dream so uninteresting, which is something that we've talked about before. I also find dreams
Great.
pretty uninteresting.
You were falling. Okay.
Yeah. What about this Vera Wang dress? Do you think it was cursed?
I think maybe. I mean, her mom kind of called it. I mean, she never got to it, right? But even going to it, I feel like.
Imagine if she would have got to it.
Did she ever get to it?
It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah.
I wonder what became of that dress. She gets hurt. A guy says, "Are you okay?" and has to touch her body for some reason.
Why is he touching her waist? Why are you touching people's waists? Is that weird?
Quit touching waist.
Don't touch
Keep your
anything.
hand to yourself.
But why do you go straight for the waist?
Don't touch any part. Don't touch waist. Maybe shoulder.
Might as well just go for the vag at that point. It's like,
just put your hand right up there. Okay, so she's got amnesia and she loves it.
Loves it.
She talks about how energy is just coursing.
She's like, dude, we're gonna get on a boat.
Which is interesting in and of itself. That may be just a happy place for her. But what made me feel really sad for her is if she's trying to get to an ocean from Chicago, like that's almost impossible.
Can you do a boat from Lake Michigan?
Maybe
yeah,
Lake Michigan.
But that's like a ways. Like we need to like find our way over there. But it's big. Lake Michigan looks like an ocean.
An ocean.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I got confused when I saw it.
But she talks about she's just present in present energy. There's no past to define her, to hold her back. It is the happiness of just the joy of being alive.
Mm-hmm.
When have you ever felt that, T?
Yeah.
And it's not connected to anything else. There's this blank slate. There's no future. There's no past. There just is you being the fabric of all living things and all the energy around you.
I felt that sometimes.
I guess it sounds amazing. You
just
have felt
like
that?
millisecond. No, actually, yeah. But I'm talking about the ones like recently with everything and just having like a millisecond of that feeling and wanting to hold on to it.
Yeah.
I have those moments.
Yeah, like, oh.
I have those moments and I try to hang out in it. It happens a lot to me, actually. I'd say like a second a week.
If you could put that in some water, if you could infuse that in some water and wafers, that would be huge.
I think that's how it works.
That would be huge for a cult's business.
Yeah, I think I could do something. Sweat or something. Spit in it. Just pray it. Just pray it. I'll pray it and then put it in there and then people drink it.
If you could only bottle that one moment, but like, how would you even know to have a bottle ready? Because the moment comes and goes so quickly.
Yeah, I have to have a fanny pack bottle ready. Because it happens so randomly. You can't anticipate.
It happens. You're like,
you're
holding your brother.
Oh, God. Breathe in it.
Your fanny pack.
What do I do?
Wait,
okay? I'm happy. Ah! I couldn't. Stop talking.
God. Fucking bitch. I was about to bottle it. You ruined it.
I gotta get back to it now.
Fuck.
I don't even know how to
get the lid off in time. Quit asking me questions. So Jeff is her sister's boyfriend, right?
Fiance.
Or she say fiance. Why was Jeff the last person she called?
I was wondering that too.
Wrong answers only.
Okay.
I'll go first.
I feel like I know the right answer.
She needed to ask him questions about how to sell stuff on eBay.
That's good. That's bad.
Okay.
I told you effing.
You go. She called him to... I said wrong answers only.
I think it's a wrong answer. Okay.
Okay. She had to give him detailed instruction on how to milk a cow.
And now I'm going to give the right answer.
But seriously, why was he your last phone call?
No, I know. Well, what I'm thinking was they're planning for their wedding. The Vera Wang dress might be the engagement party dress.
Sure.
They were talking, planning,
Something, a surprise maybe for her sister. Yeah. So Ingrid decides to keep her amnesia a secret.
Love this. This is like a great show. Oh my God. Hi, how are you?
It seems mental, doesn't it? But that's how good it is. I'm me.
And you are.
And I'm fine.
You. And you are.
You're
Jeff's like,
fine.
Am I supposed to answer that? I am Jeff. I know you're Jeff. I'm your sister's fiance.
So she's got no memory of Jeremiah, except her body memory of her head and his shoulders. And the doctor asks her if she's experiencing any memory loss.
No, not at all. Feeling great.
So to me, at first, I was like, why would you lie to your doctor? But people do it all the time.
She's feeling good. She wants to hold on.
She was willing to risk her life.
What life?
To protect.
What life? She has no life. She'll risk it.
I mean her actual literal life.
I know, but she doesn't know anything about her actual literal life.
She knows she's alive and breathing, though. I'm talking about
like she could die.
Yeah, because
she doesn't know that either.
But it's her amnesia feels so good that she's
holding on to this shit.
Willing to lie to her doctor to protect it.
But you're right, everyone lies to the doctor.
Who sleeps fully naked? Do you?
I know that was weird. No.
Do people though?
Maybe you're hot and in your 20s. Maybe it's also summer and you're hot that way too. You're hot and you're hot. And we don't have AC, Though I think you get hotter when you're both naked and snuggling up. It gets hot.
It sounds terrible. I wouldn't stand for it.
It sounds okay to me. We don't do it, but if we wanted to do it, it's just weird because the kids come in. I'm like, I can't be naked.
Yeah, and your kids are all over you.
I know.
And also, who fucks after a bike accident?
Well, she doesn't know.
She doesn't know, but
he's not gonna be like, let's do this. Brain trauma.
Let's think about this. She wasn't only willing to lie to her doctor, she was willing to fuck a stranger.
Yeah, that's how powerful.
Preserve the secret of the amnesia, which is so fucked.
Yeah.
But you're right. It goes to show the power of how good this amnesia was to her.
That's some good amnesia. She should have bottled that up.
I love the image of her feeding the cats.
Oh my gosh. She's like, la, la, la.
She talks about she just wants to sit and stare at her brain. What does that mean?
She's just staring out in the window and just like, I don't know.
Yeah. What is that?
I wonder if she's writing. Because she is a writer. It'd be so great if she was writing stuff down.
She said she was listening to her blood.
As you do.
To lose your identity and be stripped bare. I mean, the thing is, as much as I want to empathize with her, I have no idea what she's talking about at all. I understand it fundamentally, but I can't even put myself in that position.
I remember forgetting everything after taking LSD and feeling for a moment I forgot everything. It was the most terrifying experience of my entire life. Literally.
Is amnesia like being widowed? Like the curse proclaimed?
I think it's a good connection.
I guess if her memory never would have come back and she might have possibly lost Jeremiah, I guess, if she never really...
Have you seen The Vow? I haven't, but it's what I think The Vow might be like. With Rachel McAdams and what's his face from Magic Mike and Step Up.
Chatham Tatum?
Yeah. Chatham.
Chatham Tatum?
Channing Tatum?
Yeah. What I said.
Chatham Tatum?
Well, that's what that's about?
I think she gets amnesia, and then he's like, but we're together. And she's like, no, we're not. That's what I think it's about. I've never seen it, but I love Rachel McAdams. I don't know. I love her.
Remember what we just watched recently? About Time.
Oh, I love that.
Recommend, y'all.
I watched Wedding Crashers on the plane on the way to Boston.
Oh, did you watch Civil War?
It wasn't on there.
Oh.
It wasn't there. So I watched Wedding Crashers instead. Yeah.
You know that Isla Fisher is Scott's hall pass.
Really?
Yeah.
She's insane in every movie she's in. Why would she be the hall pass? Rachel McAdams is my hall pass. Why is she's insane in everything she's in, right?
She's adorable, though. Yeah, but insane girls can fuck.
So that's if I get
It's a hall pass. So, yeah, he's not
I
trying
don't
to
want
get
to
to
get into
know
a
her.
relationship. She's
Yeah.
not even. She's not. I don't know. I can't do it with someone I think is insane. Can I? I guess I have.
So she talks about how she's just all of the shit of her past is completely gone, and as her memory starts to restore itself, she has to re-experience like the painful hard shit, right? Like, oh fuck, like I just imagine a memory pops up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh fuck, and like it's almost harder because now you have to like experience it again out of context or something. Like a lot of times that when we're injured or hurt, like emotionally, maybe it's been like a buildup of sorts, but just to like recollect that just seems really painful.
But don't you do that a little bit? Like when you're just sitting around, like, holy shit, that was the most embarrassing thing. There's all the context, but
Yeah, I
you think
know.
about it, and then you're like, do other people think about that? Because that was really embarrassing, and I hope they don't remember that.
And they probably don't.
I hope not.
And as soon as you get around them, they remind you of all the things they still
I'm
remember about you.
sorry. It's funny. I try not to
I
hang out
wasn't
with people
talking
like
about
that.
you, but
Oh,
then she makes the point that as much as she's uncovering memories that were painful and hard, she's also uncovering memories that were amazing and wonderful.
yeah.
And this is for her the stories about her mom and the stories about her grandpa. And
Mm-hmm.
this is what makes her want to return to herself. It's these sorts of memories that are like
Yeah.
making her want to be herself again. And she talks,
What a great thing.
yeah. And I think, and I'd like to think, I can only speak for myself, but I would love to think like, as much as I'm kind of a pessimist, like glass half full, if I was in that sort of situation, I would like to think that I could catalog all of the wonderful memories more so than cataloging all of the terrible shit.
Yeah, but I also feel like we're in a position where we didn't have amnesia, that I think there's like stories that we've been told that we'll never like get again. I mean, with your dad having passed, my dad, right? I think about like when my mom does pass, those stories are gone.
Yeah.
And we're already at a point where my mom isn't telling me a lot of stories. So I try to think about it, but I don't think I can get there. Maybe if I had a blank slate and I like think about it, maybe those would pop up. But it's something I thought about.
I'm going to Arkansas next week. And I've been thinking about exactly what you're talking about right now. And I made a list of questions for my mom.
Good.
Which are
I should do that.
kind of selfish, really.
Where's the key to the safe deposit box? Like that?
No, it's more, it's like stuff that I would have wanted to know about my dad.
Yeah.
It's more about, well, I'll read a little bit to you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because once you lose someone, you start to think about like, get upset, all the ways that they thought about you. And and that your parents have like these conversations that you're not privy to, and you just want to know, like,
so many.
I mean, I go back, I say, when I was little, what did dad want from me? What did he think about me being captain of debate? What did he think about me going to college? Because I knew that they didn't want me to go. When I was getting married, what did he say? Because I knew after the fact, when I was getting divorced, he let me know how he felt about it. But I want to know, like, how did they talk about it before I got married? What did he think of me moving to California? Recently, when we were estranged, did he talk about it? Was he sad? Like,
Yeah. I think it's good that you're doing that. And I think it'll make you feel good how she responds.
Well, I'm glad that you have hope, T, but I don't know that my mom has the most I don't know, introspective life. I don't know what her kind of answers will be. I have a feeling she'll say something akin to, I don't know. I don't know. And that's my fear, is that I'll be really disappointed.
But they talk. Things happen, they talk about it.
Exactly. I mean, they were
That's all they
very
did.
much insular. Of course they talked about everything. And yeah, I want to know.
Your mom's really lucid.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like those questions are important ones. And I hope that she'll be thoughtful and understand that you're like coming from like a vulnerable place, and that I hope she will too. But yeah, I think it'll be good. And I hope that it works out.
I think what I realized recently is because we were so entrenched in the church, my parents, although they made it clear that they loved us, I don't feel like we were emotionally cared for the best. It was almost like the church is there for that. Like they let the church just care for us in the deep ways because of this fear of really being vulnerable or really connecting or going deep. I felt like they didn't really want to know. They didn't want to hear from me, you know? So my response to that was that's where I created my internal life. Whereas my sister, she told them everything, you know? And so that all of the focus went on to her. And then Katie came along and she was like perfect, and they love talking about her. So there's this like wide range but I feel like they just let me go. Like just trusted that I was going to be okay. And I don't know what it is about me why do I need to know this? Why do I care what this man thought about me?
Of course you want to know. Of course you want to know. I think it's good that you're asking the questions, and I think you might be surprised just because, you know, Sarah talked a lot, and, you know, or like, you know, I
don't know. I'm not holding out for much information.
Well, I mean, when you ask and stuff, I'd say just be you and genuine about it, and not come in like you probably don't know any of these, you know. don't already like
I don't
ruin it.
Expect you to say much because
here they are. You know, I know you're not going to say it like that, but you know what I mean? Don't expect it to be the worst as you're delivering it.
No, I know. I'm going to give her some champagne.
Good.
That'll help.
That'll do it. Have some talk about dad a little, you know, do the thing. Like we're in a good spot talking about past, we're laughing.
Yeah.
There's some good moments, good memories, and then launch in. Not like you walk in. You just woke up from a nap. And she's like, here we go. She's finishing up her email about how you just took a nap. You know, none of that. I say, wait until a nice moment between the two of you.
I also got I sent this game to her from Amazon. It's called it's like a card game where it's just questions. Where it's like a getting to know you. And this company makes couples, or, you know, they make like different types of cards, but this is all for like family stuff. So I'm hoping to use some of that stuff to get closer to each other.
Get it going.
Any whoozy. A parrot who could curse.
Love
Sounds
it.
Amazing.
Anaconda? Was that what it was? Or
don't want none unless you got buns, hon. Yeah. And
I love how you forget that you're sitting on one.
Oh.
I don't think I'd ever forget. I would say, and then it's like slithers away.
I forgot.
That's hilarious. I mean, who knows? But I thought that was really funny.
So through these stories, Ingrid is starting to feel like I want to belong to these people.
Yeah.
Memories of your ancestors are the best, and it's a learned shame around her past, and that changed from her amnesia. She accepted this new joy and wonder around it. So she's balancing like these bad memories of fear or whatever, coupled with these memories of her grandfather. And she realizes you kind of have to just deal with both. You have to have both to have peace. And that balance or that symbiosis is something we talk about all the time. So her grandfather whispers to somebody that he wants his remains disinterred. Do you know what this means?
I don't think I do.
I looked it up. Even though we know 6 Feet Under really well, I don't know if we know this, but
a new one.
To disinter a body or remove it from a grave or burial place, typically need a permit from the town or city where the body is located. So to inter a body is to bury it or place it in a mausoleum. So to disinter someone is to take the body out again. So I guess my question is, where is he? where did he go?
Yeah.
I feel like we need the story. Why did they tell him to remove him? And who heard the message and then passed it on to everyone else? And everyone else is like, oh, okay, well you heard from him, so I guess we'll go do that. And then where did he go?
Good question.
So in 2024, she goes to the same intersection, and she's looking at it at this place where she was born. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it makes sense, I think. She had a whole new life perspective after that.
You're right. She was able to escape from the shame of maybe these past memories that she carried with her.
That's what I'm saying. She's a baby.
She's a little baby.
Little baby.
Memory is weight, and it shapes and marks you good and bad. Yeah, it's very powerful. It was a really good episode. Yeah?
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. A whole
Anything
different
else?
vibe.
Yeah. And I think this is our finale, our season finale.
Oh.
Your face.
Your face.
I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong. We have a special series about to drop that's going to actually finish the season. But as far as our regular episodes go, that was our season. So
we're still going. You and me are still going.
We're still going.
Okay.
We have a new series coming out. Much like, remember we did the 9/11 series and we did the Point Blank series.
Yeah.
This is a different series, and I'm not going to spoil y'all yet.
Don't spoil y'all yet. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Maybe Whit released it. I don't
Are
actually know.
we doing something else? When are we going to talk about that?
Our other thing that we're talking about doing?
Yeah.
Well, they haven't.
Okay, yeah, let's wait until they do that. Then we can.
In the works, y'all. We have something planned.
It's a little bit different.
It's going to be a little different under the same title, but we're going to add something else for us to talk about and maybe be able to talk about with a little bit more irreverence.
Yes.
Stay tuned for that. Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of Trauma Bonded. You can find our show where podcasts are kept. If you like us, please rate and review us on Apple or other places. Rate us 5 stars and write, like it, love it, want some more of it. That's it. It takes seconds. Thank you to everyone who's rated us. Grab a friend's phone and rate again. Thanks to Ingrid for sharing their story and giving us the opportunity to talk about it. And if you look in the show notes, you can see stuff about her books. Thanks to This Is Actually Happening team, including Whit, Missildine, and Andrew Waits, and the maker of music of our website, Nathaniel Trimboli. And thank you to Forrest, Chiras for editing this episode, and to Katie Cable for building those blasted Instagram posts. You can contact us at traumabondedpod@gmail.com and find us on Instagram at traumabondedpodofficial, or visit our website at traumabondedpod.com and YouTube. We are trauma bonded to the story, to the storyteller, to the listeners, and to each other. Thanks for spending time with us today. Love you, T.
Love you, Elly. Good job. Hey, thank you.
Hey, thank you. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Trauma Bonded.